Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. I want to take a second here at the beginning and wish all you moms watching a happy Mother's Day. I hope that y'all have a great day. If y'all are new here to my channel, hello and welcome. I am Taylor. I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom, and I share these What's for Dinner videos every week. So if you like these kinds of videos, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button down below. As always, any recipes that I mentioned will be linked down below. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. Friday night, I tried a new recipe called crispy barbecue chicken bacon wraps. For this, I mixed together some chicken, some bacon, some cheddar cheese, some cilantro, and some barbecue sauce in a bowl. And I did use 2 cans of canned chicken that I drained, but you could use rotisserie chicken, any kind of cooked chicken that you want. I just wanted to use up some canned chicken that I had, and we like canned chicken. But if you don't, use what you prefer. And I mixed that all together so it was nice and combined. And then I spread that mixture onto a tortilla. This made 8 roll-ups. And then once I had the mixture on there, I just rolled it up, kind of like a taquito or something. And I just repeated that until all the mixture was gone. And then I heated my skillet on like a medium-high heat, and I sprayed it with some cooking spray. And I just placed all of those wraps on top, the seam side, like the fold side down, so they stay closed. And then I sprayed the tops of them with some more cooking spray so that we've got that on there so they can get nice and golden when I flip them over. And I just cooked them for a couple minutes on either side, got them golden, like I said, and melted that cheese on the inside. And here's what they look like when they were done. These turned out so good. We really liked them. I would definitely make them again. And I just served them with some baked beans and some fresh vegetables on the side. It is Saturday, and tonight for dinner we are going to have Stromboli. So I need to make some pizza dough, and I'm using the same recipe I always use. It's called fail-proof pizza dough. It is not my recipe, but it is the one that I always use. And whenever I make it, I always double it, because sometimes I end up using all the dough, but if I don't, I can freeze it and pull it out later. And I'm making some today because I do not have any in the freezer, so I am going to double it. And so I'm going to put in 2 cups of warm water. I just get my sink water as hot and then use that, and it's pretty warm. And then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of honey and 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. This is almost gone. I keep this in the freezer and it stays fresh. And when I double the pizza recipe, the only thing I do not double is the yeast. I find if I double the yeast, then it tastes like too yeasty. So the 2 1/4 teaspoons is the same amount that you would use for the regular recipe, and I use that amount when I double it. So I'm just gonna get that honey and yeast in here in my water, stir it around a little bit, and then let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes until it gets nice and bubbly. Okay, I have added in 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3 cups of my flour. I'm gonna end up adding about 6 cups, but I'm gonna add my dough hook on here and just knead it and add the other 3 cups of flour gradually. It might be a little bit less than 6 cups. It might be a little bit more than 6 cups, but you just gotta add it until like it pulls away from the side and it's not like super sticky. Okay, once I had all that flour mixed in there, I just let it continue to knead it for about 6 minutes. And it just like got everything pulled away from the side. It's not a sticky dough, I would say, but it is like slightly tacky. But I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil in the bottom of my bowl. Put this back in, roll it around in that oil, and then I'm gonna cover it and just let it rise for about 2 hours until dinner time. You can do 1 hour and it's still good, but usually I do about 2 hours. Okay, let's see what our dough is looking like. Yes, it has doubled, maybe even a little bit more than doubled. I'm gonna take about 1/3 of this and roll it out into a big rectangle over here. I'm actually gonna do it on my parchment paper, and then I can just transfer it to my baking sheet. I've got my oven preheating to 400. I've got some leftover like spaghetti and meat sauce from when we had spaghetti the other night, and I'm gonna use that for my sauce, and I'll spread some of that on there. I'm gonna add some pepperonis. I've got some cheddar cheese and some mozzarella. Put all that on there, roll it up. I'm gonna put an egg wash on it and cut some slits in it, and then bake it. And I think I'm gonna bake it for probably about 15 to 20 minutes, but I will let you know for sure once it's done. So as y'all saw when I rolled this up before I cooked it, it ended up being more like a calzone instead of a stromboli. I just did not roll the dough out. big enough, so I didn't have enough space to like really roll it so that some of the dough ended up on the inside. So I just kind of sealed it up like a calzone, but it's in the shape of a stromboli. So I'm gonna let that cool for a few minutes, and then I'll slice it up and we'll serve it with some marinara on the side to dip it in, and then we've just got some fresh veggies to have with it. And then I'll use the other dough to make another one when Andy gets home, and that one will probably end up being more like a stromboli. If I remember, I will pull out the camera and show you what that one looks like. And this did bake for 20 minutes, right at 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and it turned out perfect. But that is going to be dinner for Saturday. Sunday night we had taco spaghetti. This is my recipe and I've shared it many times here, and I have a whole recipe video on it which will be linked down below, but I'm sharing it again because I tried something new this time and I thought I would show you guys what I did. So I started off by browning 1 pound of ground beef with some taco seasoning. If you buy your taco seasoning in a packet, just cook the meat with like half of the package and save the other half for later. And then once the ground beef was done, I added in 1 can of rotel, 1 can of enchilada sauce, half a cup of sour cream, and about 1 can of nacho cheese sauce. But if you watch my grocery hauls, you know that I buy the Rico's nacho cheese in the big like 6-pound canister thing, and I just divide it up and freeze it. So I use that for this, and usually I use Velveeta, but I like buy the block kind and cube it up and use that in this. And I thought that the nacho cheese would be good in it, and it also would be quicker to make because I wouldn't have to wait for that block Velveeta to melt. So I added that in there, and then I also added the rest of the taco seasoning, and I just let that simmer. Once I mixed it well, I let it simmer until my 16-ounce box of spaghetti noodles was done cooking. When everything was done, I added my noodles to a greased 9x13-inch pan, and then I poured that sauce over top and mixed everything well. And then I topped with some shredded cheddar cheese, and this baked at 350 for 30 minutes. We absolutely love this with the nacho cheese sauce. It gave it a little bit more spice because that nacho cheese sauce has like some spice to it. But if you don't like that and you want to make it quicker, you can also use the Velveeta cheese packets instead of the cubed Velveeta. I think we actually just like this better, and I think I'll stick to making it this way. It was less thick as it is with the regular Velveeta, and it just seemed a little bit not as rich. It was still pretty rich and filling, so we usually always eat this just by itself. It is Monday night, and tonight for dinner we are having tilapia. I pulled out this tilapia this morning with every intention of making a new recipe for, I think it's called like chili lime tilapia, but it's dinner time now, and I don't feel like making a new recipe. It's a rainy, gloomy day. I've just been like cleaning all day, and I don't want to make a new recipe. So I'm going with tried and true recipe, a family favorite. This is Parmesan crusted tilapia, similar to my cheddar crusted chicken. I can't remember if we've done cheddar on the tilapia before, but you could really do whatever you want. I'm sure it would be good. I've done the Parmesan on chicken, and I've done cheddar on chicken. And you just need your meat and some sour cream, some panko breadcrumbs, and then whatever cheese. As I said, I'm doing Parmesan tonight. And then some seasoning. I pulled out this blackened seasoning, and I'm going to use it. Sometimes I use Tony's, salt and pepper, Badia, whatever you like. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of it on the fish. Put about a tablespoon of sour cream on each piece of fish. Spread it out. And then in this bowl, I'm going to mix together some panko, with the Parmesan and a little bit more of the seasoning, and then I will press that into the sour cream. I've shared this before, but I will also have my cheddar crusted chicken recipe linked down below, as well as the measurements and all that. And I'm doing this because it's super simple and fast, and to go with it I'm just making a box of shells and cheese and a can of green beans, so it'll be super quick and easy. This is going to go in the oven at 425 for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, here's our finished dinner. We've got our fish, our green beans, and our mac and cheese. Super simple, but that tilapia, if you haven't tried it, it is so delicious. Even if you don't like tilapia, try it on like cod or something, or even chicken if you just don't like fish. The sour cream, and then like whatever seasoning, and then I like the cheddar cheese on like chicken. It's really good, but so is parm. And you could do panko breadcrumbs. We've even done crushed up crackers. You could do pork rinds if you're not wanting the carbs. But yeah, it is so good, crispy, and it stays super juicy because of that sour cream. But that is going to be dinner for Monday. Tuesday, I made teriyaki beef skewers. This was a new recipe to us, and it was actually supposed to be made on the grill, but it ended up raining for quite a few days this week, so I wasn't able to cook them on the grill, but I ended up making them in the air fryer. So to start off, I'm making the marinade for the beef. I'm mixing together some pineapple juice, brown sugar, soy sauce, oil, minced garlic, and ginger, and I will have the exact recipe linked down below for you guys. And then the meat that I am using is some cube steaks. I had these in the freezer that I picked up on a markdown at Kroger, and I just wanted something different to do with them than the usual like cube steak and gravy or whatever. So I found this teriyaki beef skewers recipe that used cube steak. And I'm just going through and I'm cutting each steak into strips about 1 inch thick, and then I'm placing them in the marinade, and they are going to marinate for at least an hour. So after marinating, I put the beef on the skewers. I only had a couple of these shorter skewers that would actually fit in my air fryer. They came with one of the previous ones that I had. I have some like longer metal ones that I planned on using when I cooked them on the grill, but since I wasn't cooking on the grill, those were too long for my air fryer. So I just put a couple of these on the skewers, and then I cooked the rest of them without the skewers. I honestly think in the air fryer the skewers are unnecessary. It makes it easy to flip them over on the grill, but in the air fryer I didn't even end up flipping these over. And I cooked these on 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. These were delicious, so tender, and so good. I definitely will make them again. The only thing that I will do different is maybe make some extra of that marinade to like have to the side to make like a sauce with, like bring it to a simmer and let it thicken up a little bit, because I would have liked to have a little bit of sauce to go over it. And I just made my fried rice to go with this, and I will have that linked down below. Wednesday night was supposed to be another thing cooked on the grill. I was going to make some taco chicken on the grill and have chicken taco salads. Instead, I threw some chicken in the crock pot with some salsa, some lime juice, and some taco seasoning, and I just let that cook on high for like 6 to 8 hours. My chicken was frozen because I forgot to pull it out. And I just let that cook all day, as I said, and then I used my little mix and chop thing to shred it up finely, and we ended up doing chicken nachos with this, which were really, really good. So we just had most of the usual nacho toppings, like nacho cheese. We had some refried beans that I pulled from the freezer, and lettuce, and the only thing I think we didn't have this time was pico. I forgot to get pico, so I just cut up some tomatoes. Thursday, I made pizza pasta. I have shared this recipe in the past. It's super delicious and my family loves it. So I started off by browning a 1 pound of ground sausage, and I seasoned that with some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some Italian seasoning. When the sausage was all cooked, I used a paper towel to remove some of that excess grease, and then I added in some cut up pepperoni and some diced up peppers. I used the mini sweet peppers because my kids snack on them, and we always have like extra just in the fridge. And so I just cut up like 4 of those, pretty small, and then I add those in and let that cook for a few minutes. When the peppers were tender, I added in 1 jar of marinara sauce, and I just let that simmer on a low heat until my pasta was done. I cooked up 1 pound of rigatoni pasta this time. You can use any pasta you want. I do penne most of the time. When my pasta was done, I turned off the heat on my sauce and I added the pasta into that, and I gave that a good mix. If you're using a skillet that isn't oven safe, you're going to want to transfer this to a casserole dish, but since I'm using my cast iron, I'm going to put this directly into the oven. And once I got the noodles mixed with the sauce some, I added in some mozzarella cheese, and then I topped this with some mozzarella cheese and some Parmesan cheese and some more pepperonis, and this baked for 25 minutes on 350, and then I did broil it for about 2 minutes. Usually I do a salad or something with this. This time we just had some fresh veggies on the side. And that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that all you moms have a happy Mother's Day. And don't forget to comment down below and let me know if you plan on trying any of these recipes. Hope you all have a good week, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!